I'm Bruce Sellery from Money Sense Magazine, author of the Moolah Law series. And now in our studio to talk about the kitchen, not just any kitchen, the frugal kitchen.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about when it comes to the kitchen.
There is.
So many people want to reno their kitchen. They want all these fancy kitchen appliances, but there's a lot to think about if you were thinking about budget.
And it is such an important room of your home, at least it
huge.
is in our family. And that is a very personal space in terms of what's important to you. So
Yeah.
I don't care about my coffee maker. I know, I'm revealing secrets here. I don't care. As long as it's caffeinated when it comes out, I'll drink slop and I'll microwave it in the afternoon.
Right.
But I really care about my pots, and Marilyn's gonna be very happy. I care about my knives.
Okay.
So
are you
those
a
are things
foodie?
that
Do you cook?
I do cook.
Oh,
I am the cook.
fantastic.
Dennis does not cook. I cook.
I love
I am
that.
very focused on that. Now, aesthetically, my kitchen currently has a few opportunity areas. But in terms of function, it's a great place.
Okay.
There's kids' art projects everywhere, and you know all that
Of
stuff.
course. You got to put Abby's art up. I mean, she's clearly a genius.
She is clearly
right?
a genius, Picasso in the making.
Yeah.
So when we think about needs versus wants, which is kind of what it comes down to when you're budgeting out your kitchen renovation, it's a very, very personal question. And truth be told, for North Americans who have a roof over their head, there really are few needs. If the fridge works, your needs are covered. It's degrees of want is what I would say. What do you really, really want, and what do you not really, really want?
Okay, so you will have a particular calculation that you want to bring into this.
Well,
That's
I
gonna
do,
help us out.
and it's a basic mathematical calculation,
All right.
and it's that compound interest, which our audience is thinking, how on earth is that relevant? Well, here it is. The reason is when you do a kitchen renovation, you're trading off between items in the renovation, and you're trading off between items in your overall budget. So it's fancy backsplash, nice stove, which do I want more, and it's fancy backsplash versus retirement. And one of the ways you can think about that is if my kitchen reno is $20,000 instead of $30,000, I've got $10,000 more to put towards my retirement. Now, many people who love their kitchen are thinking, who is this guy? Why is he talking about retirement? We're talking about kitchens. But it's relevant because $10,000 invested for 30 years is $60,000 because you're
Right.
earning the interest on your interest. So you're thinking about your life at 70 and you're thinking about that kitchen. Where's the money for the groceries in your fridge? So you love this kitchen, it's great, but when you're 70, you don't have the money that you want to buy the truffle oil or buy the whatever the heck it is to actually feed yourself. So that's a
Yeah.
big part of the question and the trade-off that people most of the time don't consider.
Good
For
point.
good reason, they don't want to consider it.
No, they don't want to,
No.
because we want the candy, right?
Yeah,
We don't want to think about
exactly.
the spinach, the candy.
Though that looked really good, that spinach.
It was really
Seriously,
good.
I'm
That
going to be
pasta dish
hovering
I'm gonna
around
make.
backstage.
Absolutely. So you have to make sure, though, that $10,000 that you're not spending on your kitchen is actually going to your retirement.
Yes.
And you don't just go on a fancy vacation instead.
Yes.
You know, you have to do that calculation, which is very interesting. I think a lot of us don't look at it that way. Now, what about people who say, listen, if I have this fantastic kitchen, I am going to have better resale value for my home?
Maybe true. Do you really believe that, or are you deluding yourself, is the first question.
Deluding myself.
And of course. Here are the three things that I would ask, is what is the kitchen that you're replacing? So are you replacing a kitchen that is, you know, from 1952? The woman hasn't even painted the walls in 50 years. Or is it nice? Kind of
Right.
nice with a meh, it's like, okay. Because if it's a disaster, absolutely that's something that any new homeowner is going to have to replace. If it's okay, you're not going to get the value. Secondly, when are you going to sell? Are you going to sell between 2 and 5 years when that's kind of a new kitchen? Or are you thinking, I don't know when I'm going to sell 10, 20? Well, if it's that far in the future, this kitchen is not going to be upping the value of your home because it's so far in advance. And last, what sort of reno are you planning? Is this epic? Is Cityline going to show up and shoot this kitchen? Is Style at Home going to put it on the cover of a magazine? Because if it's that kind of reno, it's going to be hard to get that money back when you sell. If it's simple and structural and, you know, a good working cook's kitchen, then that might be easier to pay off.
Good tips, Bruce. Thank you. Time to go to break. We've got more coming up.